do have them. Okay, which one are we doing first here? It's color-coded, right? All right, so alternate elector for the Electoral College. Say, take the purple ballot. Start with that. Start with the purple ballot there at top. Print your name at the top, and then the alternate elector for the 3rd Congressional District will be Cheryl Cuthrell, who is here in the room. Cheryl, please stand and wave at everybody. If you all would, please print your name at the top and put in Cheryl Cuthrell's name as the alternate. And this will be for the 3rd Congressional District, and then sign at the bottom, and then pass those around to Cindy Costa, please.
Meredith will take them up.
Okay. And if you would, Madam Secretary, please total those up and let us know the count.
Mr. Chairman, I have 7 votes for Cheryl Cuthrell to be the elector.
All right, so it is unanimous. Seeing this unanimous, Cheryl Cuthrell is hereby elected to replace Joanne Burroughs as the elector for the 3rd Congressional District. Come forward and take a seat, ma'am. And now we'll repeat the process for the 5th Congressional District. Brandon Newton was unable to serve. So here from the 5th, we have Charm Altman. Where's Charm? Charm, wave at everybody. So if you would, all now, please, including Cheryl, take your purple ballot out, print your name at the top, insert Charm Altman's name as the alternate elector, and then sign and pass those forward. Yep, so Teresa Altman, excuse me. You have to write in Teresa Altman. We have to make this legal. As if we don't know who Charm Altman is. And if you would, Madam Secretary, please total those up for us and read the total.
Mr. President, I have 8 votes for Teresa Charm Altman to be seated as an elector.
And seeing as it is unanimous, Teresa Charm Altman is hereby elected as an elector for the 5th Congressional District. Come forward and take your seat, please, ma'am. Mr. Secretary, we have now filled our spots.
Thank you. If you would, please, if you'll sign the certificate, adding them as electors, which I'll certify. Thank you. And then we'll Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. I feel like I've bought a house. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. And at this point, we'll ask all the electors to take the orange ballot out of your packet in front of you. We'll be casting votes for Vice President of the United States. If you would, please print your name where indicated, and then fill in the name of Mr. Michael Pence, and then sign, and then we'll collect those and give them to the Secretary for her to tally.
Mr. President, I have 9 votes cast for Mike Pence as Vice President of the United States.
So that's 9 votes cast for Mike Pence for Vice President of the United States. If we would now have all of our electors take the blue form, if you would, again, print your name where so indicated and list your candidate for president there, Mr. Donald Trump, and then sign, and then we'll collect those to the Secretary.
Mr. President, I have 9 votes cast for Donald J. Trump as President for South Carolina.
That's 9 votes for Mr. Donald J. Trump as President of the United States. Mr. Secretary, all of our votes have been cast.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would you like to have a voice vote?
Yes, we would. Can we have a voice vote to confirm the results, all 9 votes for Mike Pence and Donald Trump as President of the United States? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Mr. Hardesty, if you would now, we'll begin to sign the certificates. We'll just come around and go down the line, around to this end over here. Okay. And we'll just let him make a little progress, and then we'll just proceed down the line. While the Secretary begins to sign his paperwork, we just want to take a few minutes and introduce ourselves. I'm Drew McKissick, State Chairman of South Carolina Republican Party. Thank all of y'all for being here today. I see a lot of familiar faces out here and the folks who put a lot of work into what we do as a party, and I sincerely appreciate it. Thankful to live in a country where we can participate in such a system freely. Something that many of us I know take for granted, and we should always, stop and think on an occasion like this and be mindful of what we're actually able to do here in this country. And thankful to be here in South Carolina, where we're in a state where we got the process right, and thankful to the Secretary for having such a well-managed system and ceremony here for us. We'll put in a bill this coming year for a Paperwork Reduction Act when it comes to taking care of electoral votes casting. But at this moment, we'll start around here with Cindy, my other at-large fellow member, and we'll introduce ourselves and who we're representing, and finish up here with Mr. Omer.
I'm Cindy Costa. I'm the Republican National Committee woman for South Carolina. I'm from the 1st District, so I guess I'm representing Senator Tim Scott this morning. And I'm glad to be here. It's an honor and a privilege to live in a free country where you're able to do this. And I love the way our founding fathers set up our electoral process. I hope that doesn't get jeopardized in any way. I'd also like to acknowledge someone in the audience. Hope Walker is our executive committee person for the state party, and I just want y'all to know that she has done a tremendous amount of work in our state, and we are so grateful to have her. So thank you, Hope, for being here.
Hi, my name is Jerry McDaniel. I was the South Carolina State Director for Donald J. Trump. I am an executive committee person from Horry County, so I do represent a great area. I'm also the elector for the 7th Congressional District, and I'd like to acknowledge one of my guests that came with me, Miss Robin Holly. You guys probably see us a lot traveling, supporting our president. Robin, if you'd stand up, please. I'm sure everybody knows who you are, but you guys know she's my BFF. She's fought along with me forever and ever and ever, supporting the Republican Party. So thank you, BFF.
Hello, I'm Sandra Bryan, and I am the immediate past chairman of the 6th District and also the reading secretary for the state Republican Party. And I am glad to be in a state that got the vote right, and I do appreciate being in a country that is freedom. Also, I'd like to introduce a guest that I brought along with her excitement of the delegation electing delegates. She was involved with that for the first time, and she also was so excited about the college electoral process. So I invited Peggy Hurth, and she is from Calhoun County. Peggy, stand up.
I'm Charm Altman. I'm chairman of the Newberry Republican Party. It's been a wonderful experience to be part of this electoral process. I've tried to teach my people in Newberry how important this is, because so many people out there don't realize that this is more important than anything that we do, because this is how the president gets elected, and we have done our job in South Carolina. I pray that Georgia will follow through and do their job. Signing all those papers about the second table, the arthritis hits in, you can't write anymore. But thank you. I'm so honored to be here. This is a lifetime dream of mine, but thank you.
I'm Suzette Jordan from Greenville, and I represent the 4th District, and it was my honor to elect President Donald J. Trump and Mike Pence today. I am also honored today to have a dear friend from Greenville, Linda Garner, who is the first vice chair of the Greenville County Republican Party. So thank you, Linda.
I'm Cheryl Cuthro. First, I want to ask y'all to continue to pray for the Burroughs family and keep them in your prayers. I am the chairman of Anderson County, and I am representing the 3rd Congressional District today, and I'm very honored and blessed to be here today. I have my husband, Alan Cuthro, who supports me in everything I do, and bless his heart at times. So I appreciate everything he does for me and allowing me to pursue all my little political things that I enjoy doing. And I thank y'all for being here today.
Hi, I'm Terry Hardesty. I reside in Monk's Corner, the big, beautiful county of Berkeley. I'm representing the 1st Congressional District. This is Constitution 101. This is where every state has a voice equal to its number of representatives selecting our chief officer of the United States of America. It's a very important thing. It's something that we really need to work to protect because people will take this away from us. And small states, and we're technically a small state, will have absolutely no voice if we get rid of the Electoral College. So this is extremely important. Additionally, I've been watching presidents about as long as our chairman has been alive. His birthday's coming up. 5 decades. I have never seen a president work as hard to fulfill the campaign promises he made, despite all the opposition that he had. It's really been amazing. Most presidents get elected and they get in D.C. and they figure out getting things done is difficult. And it is, and it should be. But this president has worked diligently, and I'm proud to cast my vote for him. Thank you.
My name is Jim Ulmer. I'm from North South Carolina. That's in Orangeburg County, where I'm the Republican Party chairman. My guest today is our executive committeeman, Terry Kaiser. Stand up, Terry. Or he's built like a bear, so you can't miss him. I thank y'all for coming. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for putting on a wonderful educational opportunity.
Thank you.
You told us earlier today that back in the day, folks would just meet in the office and do it quietly behind doors. But the Electoral College is actually part of a very wonderful machine, an intricate machine like a clock. It's very fine-tuned and works together. And the good Lord guided those guys who drafted that Constitution. If you pull out a quarter from your pocket, it's got a profile of our first president, George Washington. He's the only man who was ever elected president of the United States unanimously by the Electoral College, twice. Also, on the front of a quarter, you'll see one of our 2 mottos, our national motto, "In God We Trust." Also an important word, liberty. There was a man who gave a speech in Washington at our virtual Republican convention. He's a refugee from Cuba. His father had been a refugee from Spain, escaped tyranny in Spain and went to Cuba. He escaped communism in Cuba and came to America. That man said, there's nowhere else to go. Ronald Reagan said that years ago also. We have nowhere else to go. Also, on a dollar bill, we have the father of our country, George Washington, on the front. And on the back it says, "In God We Trust." In God we E pluribus unum means out of many one. In 1782, that was put on the Great Seal of the United States. In God We Trust was added in the 50s as our national motto. If you look at these, you go blind trying to look at this South Carolina state seal. But we have 2 state mottos. In 2nd or 3rd grade South Carolina history and 7th grade history, teachers give you the option of learning which one, memorizing which one. Undoubtedly, every child in South Carolina knows Dum Spiro Spero. It's fun to say. It means while I breathe, I hope. I can't even pronounce Animus Opibusque Parati. That's the other one. It's just as important. It means prepared in mind and resources. And thank goodness our election folks in South Carolina are prepared in mind and resources. And I highly recommend that to everybody else throughout the country. Speaking of 7th grade South Carolina history, we had to do reports and keep a scrapbook. Miss Helen Valentine was my 7th grade teacher. And this is a learning experience, so I appreciate your patience with me. He did a dangerous thing, let me be cleanup man for this. We had to keep a scrapbook. And I know this, I memorized this back yonder, because it was like a 2-sentence report on Chief Attaculla. He was an Indian chief in South Carolina. He said, "We all live in one land. Let us live as one people." Well, you know, our constitutional republic is not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. Instead of having mob rule where 51% of folks can vote to trample over the rights of 49%, the rights of the little guy are looked out for as well. Thank y'all for coming. We're going to start this again in the spring with precinct reorganization. Ms. Hope Walker would have me tell you that. And so any registered voter can participate. Watch for advertising to find out about when and where. Thank you very much.
Mr. Secretary, all of our votes have been cast, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. As Secretary of State, I have certified the certificate of vote for the election of Michael Pence as Vice President and Donald J. Trump as President. That is the certificate of vote. One pair will go to the President of the Senate. 2 pair will go to the Archivist of the United States. 2 pair will be retained in the Secretary of State's office, and 1 pair will be given to the Chief Judge of the Federal District Court, South Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank you all for attending this historic event today. This has been very challenging because of COVID, and I would like to thank everyone for all of their assistance. There's some folks I specifically would like to thank. And at this time, I would like to thank the Speaker of the South Carolina House of Representatives,